Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the strongest weapon of them all? Wait, don't answer that since it might not be what I'm looking for. Today's topic is the mirror. Wait, this is just a simple item that allows me to see my reflection. How is this dangerous in the slightest?
What if you break it on the floor, and then there's so many shards of glass, and then you prick it, and you're like, oh my god, my finger's bleeding!
But how's that useful in a fight? I thought breaking a mirror is just 7 years bad luck.
That's another reason. Bad luck for that other dude.
Or you know, it's fiction. These mirrors could just be supernatural.
Oh my goodness, there are those!
In this video, we'll be looking at characters that utilize mirrors as weapons, whether they're magical or just standard mirrors that are used in a clever manner. We just gotta see a mirror as their main tool in battle or chaos and they can make the list. And in case you're wondering who that voice is that you heard earlier, that's my co-host, Judgment Meter.
Hi!
Now, let's reflect on our top 10 characters that fight with mirrors. Number 10, Chizuru from King of Fighters. Chizuru holds the Yata mirror, a sacred treasure that can seal away evil, such as Orochi, the snake demon man villain of this universe that all the power-hungry bad guys want to release for even more power. When villain Gonitz, I never know how to pronounce that, releases Orochi from her family's mirror seal and kills her sister Maki, who is the current mirror holder, Chizuru was sent on a mission. Maki entrusts Chizuru to take care of the mirror and reseal Orochi, and Chizuru does the best she can. She holds a fighting tournament to attract the protagonist and rival, Kyo and Iori respectively, who are the only other people with the ability to help seal Orochi. Long story short, they're eventually successful, but we're here to talk about the mirror. The big part of both convincing and working with the other fighters is Chizuru has to battle, and the mirror shows that it can do more than just seal evil, like seal her opponent. Well, maybe not her opponent, but some of their attacks. She can restrict some of her enemy's powers briefly with her mirror. The coolest and most common attack she has is to summon a mirror reflection of herself to beat down her opponent. Some storylines even say this reflection is Chizuru summoning the spirit of her twin sister Maki to assist her after death. That's pretty convenient that SNK did not have to make a new sprite for Maki being an identical twin. They even just do a copy-paste job for Maki's official artwork.
That makes me a little sad. I think her sister needs a better backstory.
Maybe we can make the headcanon that Maki taught Chizuru how to fight, since their movesets are identical too. They basically dance to attack. That's right, Maki and Chizuru fight with the power of funk. The style is open-ended since they just gave it the fictional name of Kagura-style ancient martial arts, with Kagura being their last name.
Hobbies: sleeping, motorcycle racing. Hey, just like me.
Since when have you ridden a motorcycle?
Past life. She has a pet sparrow?
Yes, its name is Chi-chan.
Chi-chan! Oh, Chi-chan!
It was a bit downhill for Chizuru starting in King of Fighters 2003. She gets possessed, uses the mirror to create an evil clone of Kyo, at least another good use of the mirror, and then gets her mirror stolen by future protagonist / anti-hero Ash Crimson. I swear, she's good at her job, she just had a bad luck streak right there. She got it back eventually. Don't worry, Chizuru, you're still on my wish list for the next King of Fighters. Number 9, all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mirror-themed cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of mirrors, so we're going to do what we always do when a series gives us a lot of potential choices and talk about them all to whittle them down into one easy choice. One of the most iconic cards is based on a mirror, being Mirror Force. It flings the attack right back at you. Simple.
It is pretty, I like it. But it's not an actual mirror.
What about Dark Mirror Force?
See, like the last one, not a conventional glass mirror, but it is a force.
Alright, maybe we can look at some of the traps that are pure physical mirror instead, like Fairy's Hand Mirror. It can catch a spell and then redirect it, and it has a fun little fairy controlling it at the top. Or maybe Mirror Wall or Mirror Gate. Both are cut from the same cloth. I'd probably side with Mirror Wall in this case, since it had some character in the anime when Mai used it to guard her Harpy ladies. The card was pretty broken considering the anything goes nature of Duelist Kingdom. It just chopped attack points in half of attacking monsters with no repercussions. Even so, the real card with more limitations still saw competitive play for a time.
That one's pretty. Oh no, it's made out of dead glaceons.
Well, no, it's not made out of Glaceon, it just has a similar motif to Glaceon, and the card came out many years before Glaceon even existed.
Oh no, it looks like Should I be happy about it or sad about it?
Give me both reactions.
Oh, it looks like Glaceon. Oh no, it looks like Glaceon.
Fine, let's take a look at some mirrors that are actually monsters. How about Reflect Bounder? Another case of bouncing attacks right back at the opponent, only in monster form. Though he got screwed over with the name translation. His full Japanese name is Magical Mirror Master Reflect Bounder. In English, he's just, I'm Reflect Bounder. I'm not magical or a master of mirrors.
Is it a Power Ranger?
What kind of Power Rangers have you been watching? How about Copycat? Look at this guy. He just copies the attack and defense of an opponent, but it's a cool design. I'm sure he would do something more visually stunning if he got to do more in the anime.
God.
What about Mirror Resonator, or Fiend's Mirror, or the Gishki Mirrors? Mirror Ladybug? Oh man, I underestimated the amount of mirrors in Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what? I gotta call the winner right now, and I'm gonna say it's Fiend Reflection.
Ooh.
It's a bird demon that summons ghosts from a mirror that look like they're in a completely different art style and have the same color and texture as the gum seal from Cow and Chicken. Who doesn't love the artistic direction of old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards? Number 8, Mirror Kirby from Kirby. It's Kirby with mirror powers, and that about sums him up. I wouldn't say it's one of Kirby's most iconic powers, but it's still a classic. He can use the mirrors to reflect projectiles, and that's about it. The other main power this ability bestows upon Kirby is he can create clones of himself and glide while he's doing it, but I can never figure out a good use for that technique, so I just used it to move around and make it look like Kirby was doing some avant-garde dance. Technically, we should be crediting the guy that gives Kirby this power when absorbed, being the enemy Simmirror.
Simmirror. I am already confused.
However, I can't think of anything to say about Simmirror outside of an obvious Final Fantasy joke, so I'll give this entry to Kirby.
Oh, that's a you picture.
It's Kirby. All pictures of him are cute.
It looks like he's making Glaceons.
But Mirror Kirby existed many years before Mirror Wall even came out.
He's making it in the future.
Number 7, Lady Alma from Legend of Zelda Wand of Gamelon. Okay, for some reason, one of the first characters I thought of when planning this list was this random character from the Zelda CDI games. She maybe has a minute of screen time, so I blame my mastery of 2007 memes for wanting her here.
Good.
Here's what we know about this woman's mirror from one scene. Zelda casually wonders where Link is after Ganon is defeated. Alma basically says, he sucks, who cares if he's dead somewhere? And Zelda tells her to stop looking at herself in her seemingly normal hand mirror. Instead of just taking it from her, Zelda smashes it against the wall. You didn't have to break your friend's mirror like that to get her to stop. You could have just been all, hey, this is not the time. But in doing so, she accidentally frees Link from an eternal prison. He was apparently stuck in there with no way out otherwise, and Link's just happy there's food now. Not because he was starving in there, but because he's such a goof. We learn this mirror can trap anyone in it, and the only way we know you can get out is when it's broken. That's like the strongest trapping mechanic I've seen. It captured the hero of time, though we are talking about this Link.
Great! I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos!
The point is, if Alma was attentive enough, she could defeat any enemy by locking them away instantly. What if she just went up to Ganon with this mirror?
You dare bring light into my lair? You must— oh, it's just a mirror. Who cares? Mirror.
No! You haven't seen the last of me!
I'm not even sure how Link was trapped in there. Was it Alma, or more likely, was it one of the random villains that stole her mirror and did it? But either way, it's such a good power for a game that had nothing major planned for it. I guess its only weakness is it can be nonchalantly destroyed with ease. Otherwise, Alma would have had a pretty good power ranking in the Legend of Zelda world. Number 6, the mirror card from Cardcaptor Sakura. We hardly ever see the mirror in her true form, where she's an elegant girl in a poofy dress holding a mirror. So I'm not sure if she's named after her powers or if her true form is the mirror. However, what we do know is any reflection that this mirror can capture, she can imitate it, voice and all. We really only see it done for Sakura, but we get a good idea about the extent of its skills. It's a one-on-one imitation power, and it doesn't really really seem to have any flaws. The mirror's initial appearance had it committing minor inconveniences around town under the guise of Sakura, like knocking over sales fixtures and destroying kids' sandcastles. Wait, no, that last one's actually sad. Please stop. The only real weakness in its disguise is that if there's someone who truly knows magic or just knows the person being imitated super well, the facade is over. For example, the mirror tried pulling that fake Sakura routine with Sakura's brother Toya.
But you know what? Toya sees right through her scheme. He's like, that's not my sister, you're a card. Because he still has a little bit of magic, and he's like, yeah, I can sense it. And if you know what Card Captors is, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, you probably are like, what is Judgment Meter talking about? She's just rambling again. But you know what I'm rambling, whether or not you know what Card Captors is. So,
I guess the mirror's other weakness was having a massive crush on Toya, making her charade harder to keep up.
but seriously, who doesn't love Toya? He's hot stuff, but you know what? He belongs to Yukito, so don't hit on him.
After the mirror is captured, she's mostly used as a tactical card. I'm sure if they had the mirror imitate a burly person, it could be used on the front lines of preventing chaos, but it's generally a support card. They use the mirror when Sakura needs to sneak out to pursue the plot, but a stand-in is needed at school or to trick her family into thinking she's still sick at home or something like that. Sometimes the mirror gets the good end of these bargains when portraying Sakura, like when she gets to sit around all day in bed and eat soup.
You know, that sounds pretty sweet. I just want to sit in my bed all day and get soup.
What kind of soup?
Pea soup. No, don't put that in. I'm trying to think of a better soup. Pumpkin soup. Yeah, it's the fall.
Number 5. One of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure mirror manipulators. JoJo's has had 2 major mirror stand users, and we're going to decide who's best. It's between Jay Guile with Hanged Man and Aluso with Man in the Mirror. Oh, and JoJo's mild spoilers for Part 5 and a bit of Part 3 in this entry. Aluso from Part 5 can use Man in the Mirror to drag his enemies into his own mirror world and then kick them around as he pleases. He can just bring the person themselves into the mirror and leave their stand behind, so his enemy is powerless when they fall for his surprise mirror attack. However, he doesn't have full advantage in the mirror world. You are able to trick him into dragging the wrong thing into it to beat him, but generally you won't know to do that until you see his powers at least once. Even so, when Abakio tricked Aluso into thinking his stand was himself, Man in the Mirror could just stop dragging Abakio's stand in and start dragging the real Abakio in, turning him into this pretty cool looking stand-human hybrid for a time.
I miss him. I miss Abakio. Bakio. I miss him.
But he was fine. He made it out of this fight okay.
And then he didn't.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't Aluso. And what about Fugo? He was the first test subject against Man in the Mirror.
I love Fugo's stand. Well, I don't love Fugo's stand as much as I love other stands, but Fugo's stand's still pretty cool. Purple Haze likes to be clean, and I too like to be clean.
Okay, enough about who Aluso fought. Let's go on to Jay Guile with Hanged Man from Part 3. Hanged Man can jump into any reflective surface and emerge from it to stab you. He can jump from them at light speeds too, so when you think you finally got him, he can just go to another nearby reflection with ease. You never realize how many things reflect light until you fight him. He's introduced by showing up in a mirror just to set up his motif, but then we see him in puddles, bottles, coins, you name it.
Oh, is this when he goes into the little boy's eye because the eye is reflective too? That was really sad.
Yes, and they had to get the kid to blink, so they performed Dale Gribble's pocket sand attack to get Hanged Man out. It's okay though, since Polnareff said he'd buy the boy a caramel later. Of course, Jotaro said he'd buy that other kid another ice cream later, and, well, still waiting on that ice cream.
I know, I felt a little bad. Like, oh no, poor boy, now he has sand in his eye. But you know, it was for a good cause.
Hanged Man is like Man in the Mirror with his other attacks, where once he does the mirror stuff, there's nothing too impressive about his non-mirror attacks. It's just a knife. However, I gotta give Jay Guile credit that he teams up with Part 3's actual greatest character, Whole Horse. Jay Guile may be a repulsive human being, but Whole Horse is a pretty cool guy, and is smart sometimes about how he uses Hanged Man to hold someone in place so he can shoot.
I really wanted Whole Horse to become good. If Whole Horse became good and Fugo became bad, I would have accepted that. I would have been unhappy, but I would have accepted it.
Anyway, who do we pick for the JoJo's rep?
I'm gonna say Hangman.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like the Desert Bandit look better anyway. Where do we put him on the list though?
You should get the picture of Whole Horse holding up his hand and just looking at it really, really confused and anxious. 5!
Sounds good to me. Wait, note to self, put the JoJo's entry at number 5. Message to past self, I did put it at number 5, thank you for reminding me. Number 4, Mirror Master from DC Comics. Mirror Master is mainly an enemy of the Flash, and being a seemingly standard comic book villain, you would think he just has basic mirror powers that he uses to take over the world or something like that.
What, he like hides in mirrors? He pulls people in mirrors.
Judgment Meter, you followed the Flash TV series, you should know more about him.
I remember he has a big attitude problem, and he's annoying.
Well anyway, he's a lot more than a standard villain. The most basic things he can do involve going into and out of mirrors like a doorway. He can hide in them, teleport with them, use them as a barricade while he fires his mirror laser at you. But what does this mirror laser do? Does it fire unspecified mirror energy? Well, maybe when he's a side villain in a big DC Comics cartoon, but when he's more fleshed out, it has a cornucopia of functions. It can create mirrors to absorb or bounce light, which is great against standard laser beams. He can also use it to flip objects as if they were their own mirror reflection. If they're pointing a weapon at you, make it so they're actually pointing it at themselves. And probably the most terrifying of its powers is it can turn people and other living beings into mirrors, or at least the mirror material. You're still alive, just all your skin and body parts are made of that reflective mirror glass. And then he can just push you over and break you like fragile glass. He can also make clones of himself. It's like the whole Funhouse Hall of Mirrors gag if each reflection could emerge to kick your ass. Finally, he can use the gun to create makeshift mirrors, which are just portals to him, not only for himself though, but for whoever he's fighting against. And if he does bring you through them, then you're at a major disadvantage since now you're in his domain.
Into the Mirrorverse. That's a thing, right? Mirrorverse?
They changed the name of it a lot, but the point is it's a mirror world that he's powerful in. Number 3, Kana from Inuyasha. As the number 1 Kagura fan in the Inuyasha fandom, I also have to like Kana. Besides being a reliable, emotionless assist to Kagura whenever she needs to kill someone for Naraku, Kana is Kagura's friend. And by friend, I mean the only person that Kagura ever travels with, so they probably talk about things on those long trips. Hey Kagura, do you like my flowers? They match my hair color. I think they might even be a part of my hair now. I'm not sure how long they've been there. Look into my mirror.
Aww, doesn't she look like a nice friend? She's Kagura's only friend.
Well, Kagura's an abrasive person. Who else wanted to be her friend at the time?
You know what? Sesshomaru could have been her friend.
Sesshomaru doesn't want to be anyone's friend.
You know what? He had a hard childhood and didn't learn how to make friends when he was little, so he had a harder time making friends when he was older.
Kana's mirror does all the work for her. Kana is not built like a fighter, but we never really see her try to fight. One expected power of the mirror is that it can reflect projectiles. It can also make others fight on her behalf with a couple of different methods. If you look into it, she can steal your soul, which allows her to use others as puppets, so don't take her offer to check out how good you look when she holds up that mirror.
Let me see how pretty I look. Zoop! And it sends your attack back at you. Pshaw!
Did you enjoy making those noises?
I did. It was all worth it.
The alternate way she can have others fight for her by using the mirror is by summoning original demons, but we only saw that in the final act, so I'm not sure if that was a late addition to her powers. The main team had seen Kana so often, she would have to pull out something new or else they would be all, hey, we know you do, Kana, stop that. Of course, when this mirror demon takes damage, Kana takes the same damage, so I can see why it's a last resort. Finally, the mirror has the power to act as a spy camera, viewing wherever the main team is when Kana's away from them. At first, I thought the mirror was just like a cliche evil villain TV where you can inexplicably see where the heroes are no matter their location, but it turns out it can only see what the demon wasps see, so it does have limitations, and saves Naraku from being put in the same tier as Dr. Claw. Hey Naraku, the mirror says they're somewhere in Japan. Do you need me to go find them? Kagura, can I get a lift? It's okay, I'll just walk. I like the silence. Look into my mirror. Number 2, Perseus from Greek mythology. This mirror is cool because it's only a normal mirror without any powers. It was just used in a smart way against a supernatural monster that made it effective. However, this is a Greek legend, so I'm going to go to my classics expert Judgment Meter to tell you what led Perseus to using the mighty mirror. Or technically, an incredibly reflective shield, but it's basically a mirror.
So he had to rescue a princess, but the Gorgon Medusa was in the way. You know Medusa, she has the snakes for hair. I was gonna say snakes for brains, but you know what? It could be the same thing. I don't know where the snakes come from. And you know, he couldn't look at her because if he looked, looked at her, then he turned to stone. So he said, oh my goodness, I have to take a mirror so she looks at herself. So he held up the mirror and then she looked at it and he didn't look at it and she looked at it and then she turned to stone and he gotta rescue the princess.
I actually remember the Muppets Babies version where Gonzo and the chicken were in some Greek location when Medusa seriously threatens them. Gonzo just takes a picture of her to have the Perseus shield mirror effect and turns her to stone.
Oh my gosh, I think I know that one.
The two things I specifically remember finding funny are that she turned the pizza man to stone and the chicken taunts Stone Medusa as if it wasn't terrified that she was about to kill them like a second ago, and then Stone Medusa falls over and shatters immediately after that happens, startling the chicken. Serves you right, you arrogant chicken.
Aww, now I feel kind of bad for Medusa.
I want to know why she turned the pizza man to stone. Did she try to honestly order a pizza and just forget that she turned the delivery man to stone, thereby also ruining the pizza, and then she just leaves him out there forever? Or was she just bored and ordering a pizza as an easy way to get someone to come over?
Maybe she was hungry, because I've heard that gods only eat smoke from chickens and ambrosia, which I'm not really sure what it is, but I like to think of it as bee pollen.
Where there is
Smoke,
there is
ambrosia.
Back in 2017, the couple of times when we had lists where a Sailor Moon entry was on it, we put it as number 1 when we could not find a definitive winner, because come on, it's Sailor Moon, it knows how to show off powers, so we're having a throwback to that decision method with number 1, Sailor Neptune from Sailor Moon. This just looks like a simple hand mirror, but in reality, it's a portable device that can do anything. Fine hyperbole, but it's got some nifty powers. The most offensive attack from the mirror is Submarine Reflection, where it fires a beam of water at you, and not just any water, but seawater. That's one salty blast. Many of its other uses are not physical, but rather for support. To go with my it can do anything sentiment, the mirror can form massive shields and nullify certain powers or weapons that the enemies wield. This is the most magical seawater ever, and it goes beyond the battlefield. It can see into the past, present, and future. For the past, it can show you your previous life, and for the present and future, it can detect danger. If there's danger nearby presently, it will give you a pretty clear picture of it, and if it's coming from far away, it will just flash for a few seconds, so you best be prepared. I think Neptune and Uranus are the two most competent characters in the series, so I trust them to use these visions wisely, though it did take them 20 episodes of saying, is this the pure heart crystal we need? Nah, you can have it, bye, until they got it right. Either that mirror is too good at detecting evil, or it's really bad at detecting specific evil. Finally, the mirror is one of the necessary tools to summon the Holy Grail, which turns Sailor Moon into Super Sailor Moon, so it's useful at helping someone other than Neptune win the fight.
And now it's time for fun facts about the mirror's power with Judgment Meter.
Did you know that Sailor Neptune's mirror is based on the creator of... did you know that the creator of Sailor Moon had an antique mirror that served as the basis of Sailor Neptune's mirror? Oh my goodness!
Wait, that doesn't have to do with the mirror's power, that just has to do with the mirror itself.
Yeah, but this is cool and relevant and has to do with things that I like.
But don't you like her attacks? What's your favorite Neptune move?
Water sprayer, cannonball, hydro pump, Misty!
I thought you actually followed the storylines, or do you just get lost in Neptune's eyes?
There's a plot? Oh, yeah, that's right. I like it when she plays her violin. I like it when she goes swimming in her bathing suit. The cute one. I like it when she dances with her girlfriend. I like it when she takes motorcycle rides with her girlfriend. I like it when she takes...
Judgment Meter, none of those have to do with her attacks or mirror.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
So I guess for being one of the prettiest, smartest, and coolest Sailor Senshi with one unique mirror, Sailor Neptune tops this list of characters that fight with mirrors. Now, what did you think? Who are your favorite mirror wielders on this list, and which ones did we maybe forget about because we were too busy looking at our own reflections? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video.